Um, oh, so many stories. I think one of the best I ever heard was a chap called Walter Popple who lived in Reading, my hometown, and he went over on the 1st of July 1916, and I went round to see him, and he had a terrible experience that day, and he wouldn't tell me at first. He said, "I've written it down, you can read it," but he couldn't actually find the document he'd written, so he eventually said, "Right, I'll tell you." And I mean, to cut it short, he went over the top. He was in the third wave to go over, and he said, "I knew I was going to get killed because everyone was shot." And he said he got very close to the German lines, and he got shot through here, through the shoulder, to the second intercostal space. I always remember him telling me that. And he fell down, and as he lay there, he looked up, and he saw a German picking off the wounded one by one. And as he saw the German saw him, and the German fired at him, took the heel off his boot. So Walter said, "I knew then I was going to die because he would just pick me off. So I decided with my one good arm, I'd push myself up, look straight at him, and let him take his shot and kill me." And he said, I pushed up and I looked straight at him. And I saw him raise his rifle. He shot. He said, "It hit me right here." The bullet ricocheted off my helmet, my steel helmet. He said, "It ripped the flanges off the helmet. The helmet spun off into the air. He went crashing back down again. Realised, of course, that the German would have thought he'd killed him. And he lay there for 4 days, not all the time thinking, well, maybe the back of my head's off. He didn't know, he couldn't tell. And on the fourth morning of either the 4th or the 5th of July, he crawled back across no man's land when he knew no one was going to come and rescue him, with 7 more wounds from shrapnel, and fell into the British frontline trench. And as he was telling me this, he was crying. And I could see these little kids walking home from school, and it just seemed amazing. They were all having fun out in the street. And I remember just thinking, wow, they don't know what's going on in this room. But I tell you what is a really, really funny little story to go with that. He actually had the bullet that was taken out of his shoulder, and he said, do you want to look at the bullet? And I was sitting there going, wow. And he said, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And I said, "That would be great." And he went off to make a cup of tea, and as I was holding it, it went like that. The bullet flipped out my hand and went down the back of a sofa. So he's in there with a little Teasmade trolley going, "Tea," I was going, "Yes, please, sugar, yes, please, milk, yes, please." And I've got my hand down the back of his sofa, and I can feel the bullet. And every time I reach for the bullet drops lower in the sofa. And then literally, just as he walked back in with the Teasmade trolley thing, I got there and I pulled it out. And thanks, Walter. And it was just, you couldn't have timed it better. It was perfect timing. But all the time I could feel his bullet getting lower and lower, the sofa going up and up my arm. But that was one of the best stories I ever heard.